Maya Richardson pressed her back against the velvet booth and tried to disappear. Not literally. That would require more tequila than Kennedy had already forced into her hand. But figuratively, absolutely. At 27, Maya had perfected the art of blending in. Tonight, though, in a navy dress that hugged curves she usually hid under blazers, with her dark brown skin glowing under the club lights and her natural hair twisted into defined curls that cascaded past her shoulders, courtesy of 3 hours and way too much edge control, she stood out whether she wanted to or not. "You're doing it again," Kennedy said, sliding into the seat beside her. The bass from the DJ booth made the entire VIP section of the River North Club vibrate. "That thing where you become invisible." "I'm not invisible, I'm observing." "You're hiding." Kennedy's braids swung as she leaned closer, eyes sparkling with that dangerous combination of affection and mischief. "It's Jade's bachelorette party, Maya. You're supposed to be having fun." Maya glanced across the club. Jade was on the dance floor, veil askew, surrounded by their college friends. Everyone looked loose, happy, like they'd left their responsibilities at the coat check. Maya had brought hers in her purse, along with hand sanitizer and business cards. "I am having fun," she said. Kennedy snorted. "Girl, you've checked your work email twice since we got here. The campaign launches Monday, and you're not at work. You're at a club in River North on a Saturday night, wearing a dress that cost half your paycheck." Kennedy poked her shoulder. "Live a little." Maya took a sip of her drink. It tasted like bad decisions and citrus. "I'm living." "You're existing. There's a difference." Before Maya could argue, their friend Simone appeared, breathless and grinning. "Ladies, we have a situation." "What kind of situation?" Maya asked, immediately suspicious. Simone's grin widened. "The kind where Maya finally does something unpredictable." "Absolutely not. You don't even know what it is yet." "I know that tone. That's the tone that got us kicked out of that karaoke bar junior year." "We were 21, Kennedy said. "We're grown now. Then act like it." Kennedy and Simone exchanged a look. The kind of look that meant Maya's opinion was about to become irrelevant. $50, Simone said. Maya blinked. "What? $50 says you can't do it." "Do what?" Kennedy gestured toward the bar. "See that guy? Dark suit, standing alone. Looks like he wandered in from a Forbes photo shoot." Maya followed her gaze. "And okay, yes. There was a man at the bar. Tall, white, maybe late 30s. The kind of attractive that made you check twice to make sure you weren't imagining it. He stood with his back to the crowd, nursing what looked like whiskey, watching the bartender more than the party." "What about him?" Maya asked carefully. "Kiss him." Maya choked on her drink. "Excuse me." "You heard me. Walk over there. Kiss a stranger. Prove you can be spontaneous." "That's not spontaneous, that's assault." "Not if you ask first," Kennedy said reasonably. "This is insane. This is $50 and bragging rights for life." Simone leaned forward. "Come on, Maya. When's the last time you did something just because?" Maya opened her mouth, closed it, tried to remember, came up empty. "That's what I thought," Kennedy said gently. "You're 27 years old. You work 60-hour weeks. You haven't been on a date in 8 months. You deserve one night where you're not Maya Richardson, marketing analyst, where you're just Maya." Something in Maya's chest twisted, not painfully, more like a door creaking open after being locked too long. She looked at the man again. He'd turned slightly. Profile visible now. Strong jaw, tired eyes. The kind of face that suggested he understood what it meant to carry weight. "You really think I won't do it?" Maya said slowly. "I know you won't," Simone replied, "because you're too sensible, too responsible, too—" "Fine." Both friends froze. "What?" Kennedy breathed. Maya stood. Her legs felt strange, like they belonged to someone braver. $50. You're on." She didn't let herself think. Thinking was how you talked yourself out of things, how you stayed small and safe and boring. Her heels clicked against the floor. The music seemed louder now. Her heart definitely was. He didn't notice her until she was right there. Close enough to smell his cologne, something clean and expensive that probably had a French name. He turned. Their eyes met. His were grey, darker than she'd expected. Intelligent. "Hi," Maya said. Her voice came out steadier than she felt. "Hi." He set down his glass, gave her his full attention in a way that made her skin warm. "Do we know each other?" "No." "Okay." He waited, patient, curious. Maya's pulse hammered in her ears. This was crazy. This was exactly the kind of thing she spent her whole life not doing. She took a breath. "Can I kiss you?" His eyebrows rose, not offended, just surprised. "That's direct. It's a dare. My friends." She stopped. Honesty felt important suddenly. "Actually, no, it started as a dare, but now I'm here and you're here. And I just want to know if I can." He studied her for a long moment. Maya watched something shift in his expression, a softness that hadn't been there before. "Yeah," he said quietly. "You can." Maya stepped closer. Her hand found his shoulder. His found her waist. The kiss was supposed to be quick. Proof of concept. Evidence for $50 and bragging rights. It wasn't quick. His mouth was warm. Certain. The kind of kiss that made you forget you were in a crowded club surrounded by strangers, made you forget your name, your job, your carefully constructed life. When she pulled back, he was still looking at her, like she was a puzzle he wanted to solve. "Dare?" he asked, voice rough. "Does it matter?" "Maybe." His thumb brushed once against her hip. "What's your name?" Maya smiled, stepped back. Someone spontaneous. She walked away before he could respond, before she could second guess, before she could become herself again. Kennedy and Simone were screaming before she even reached the booth. The man at the bar watched her go. He was still smiling. Monday morning arrived with the subtlety of a fire alarm. Maya's phone buzzed at 6:30, then again at 6:35. By 6:40 she gave up on sleep and stumbled toward the kitchen. Her apartment in Old Town was small but hers. Hardwood floors that creaked, a window that overlooked the street, rent that took half her paycheck but was worth it for the location. She made coffee, strong, black, the way Mama taught her before she'd passed 3 years ago. "You drink it sweet. You'll always need something to make life bearable," Mama used to say. "Drink it black, you learn to handle what comes." Maya had been handling ever since. Her younger sister, Nia's face, popped up on her phone screen. FaceTime at 7 in the morning could only mean one thing. "You look terrible," Nia said cheerfully. She was 23, still in grad school, and had inherited all of Mama's directness with none of her filter. "Good morning to you too. Kennedy sent me videos from Saturday, girl." Nia's grin was wicked. "You kissed a whole stranger." Maya's face heated. "Can we not?" "We absolutely can. This is historic. Maya Richardson doing something wild. I'm framing the footage." It was stupid. It was amazing. He was fine, by the way. Like objectively fine. Did you get his number? No. His name? No. Literally anything? Maya sipped her coffee. It wasn't like that. It was just a moment. Nia's expression softened. "Maybe that's okay. Maybe you needed a moment. Maybe I need to get ready for work. Boring Maya is back, I see." Boring Maya pays her bills. They said goodbye. Maya showered, moisturized with the shea butter that lived permanently on her bathroom counter, and twisted her hair into a neat bun, edges slicked, professional armor on. By 8:15, she was on the Brown Line heading downtown. By 8:45, she was at her desk at Apex Innovation, the tech company where she'd worked for 3 years. The office was buzzing. "Did you hear?" Her colleague Travis appeared at her cubicle, eyes wide. "The new CEO is here, like here, today." Maya's stomach dropped. "I thought he wasn't starting until next week." "Change of plans. Corporate sent an email at midnight. He's doing a full walkthrough of every department today." "That's insane, yeah. Also, he's British. Well, British raised. American now. Came from the London office. Apparently he's some kind of boy genius who turned their division around in 18 months. Maya forced herself to focus. "What's his name?" "Nathan. Nathan Ashford." Travis lowered his voice. "Rumor is he's a hard ass. All business. Zero tolerance for mediocrity. Great. Just what she needed on a Monday. The morning crawled by. Maya reviewed campaign analytics, prepped presentations, and tried not to think about Saturday night. About grey eyes and that smile, about the way her pulse had jumped when all marketing personnel to conference room A now. The announcement crackled through the office speakers. Maya grabbed her tablet and headed down the hall. The conference room was already packed, 20 people crammed into a space meant for 15. She found a spot near the back, next to Kennedy from accounting. Wait, Kennedy from the club. Not Kennedy from accounting. Different Kennedy. "You good?" Kennedy whispered. "You look stressed." "New CEO walkthrough. I'm fine." "Girl, you're gripping that tablet like it insulted your mama." Maya loosened her hold, tried to breathe normally. The door opened. Their director walked in, smiled that corporate smile that never reached the eyes. "Everyone, please welcome our new Chief Executive Officer, Nathan Ashford." The world tilted, because walking into the conference room, wearing a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her monthly rent, was the man from the bar. The stranger she'd kissed, her new boss. He had to be late 30s, maybe 40, the kind of age where confidence had settled into his posture, where the slight lines around his eyes made him more attractive, not less. Nathan's eyes swept the room, professional, assessing. Then they landed on her. She watched the recognition hit, saw his expression shift just for a second before he smoothed it back into careful neutrality. "Thank you all for gathering on short notice," he said. His voice was different here, crisp, controlled, the British accent more pronounced. "I believe in meeting the people who make this company run, understanding how each department operates. Marketing is the voice of what we build. I'm looking forward to learning how you tell our story." He was good. Maya had to give him that. Confident without being arrogant. Engaging without trying too hard. He didn't look at her again during his speech, which somehow made it worse. After 15 minutes of corporate vision and strategic goals, their director spoke up. "Mr. Ashford will be spending time with each team this week. Maya Richardson will be his primary contact for marketing." Maya felt her throat close. Nathan's gaze found hers. Held it. "Ms. Richardson, looking forward to working together." His face gave nothing away. Hers probably gave away everything. The meeting ended. People filed out, chattering about first impressions and British accents. Maya stayed frozen in her chair until only she and Nathan remained. He closed the door. The click echoed like a gunshot. "So," he said quietly, "this is unexpected." Maya stood, squared her shoulders. "Mr. Ashford, Saturday night was a mistake," she cut in. "A stupid dare that meant nothing. I didn't know who you were, obviously. If I had known, you wouldn't have kissed me." "Correct." He stepped closer, not threatening, just present. "And now you're my boss. And I'm a professional. What happened at that club stays at that club." Nathan studied her, those grey eyes seeing too much. "You're right, it should." "Good. But for the record," he lowered his voice. That wasn't nothing. Maya's breath caught. He moved past her to the door, paused with his hand on the handle. "I'll need those Q4 campaign reports by Wednesday. Email is fine." Just like that, he was CEO again, remote, untouchable. "Of course," Maya managed. He left. She stood alone in the conference room, heart pounding, face hot, wondering how her life had become a romantic comedy she never auditioned for. Her phone buzzed. Kennedy. "Girl, was that the guy from Saturday?" Maya closed her eyes. This was going to be a very long week. Wednesday afternoon found Maya stress-eating trail mix at her desk. The Q4 reports were done, proofread 3 times, formatted perfectly. She'd even color-coded the charts because when you were spiraling, you might as well commit to the aesthetic. Her phone lit up with a text from Nia. "Nia. How's CEO Zaddy?" "Maya. I'm blocking you." "Nia. You can't block family. It's against the rules, Nia. Also, Mama would haunt you." Maya smiled despite herself. Nia was right. Mama's ghost absolutely had jurisdiction over sibling communication. She hit send on the email to Nathan, watched it whoosh into the void, tried not to imagine him reading it, tried not to remember how his hand had felt on her waist. Professional, she reminded herself. This was a workplace. He was her boss. That kiss was a glitch in the matrix that they were both pretending never happened. Her desk phone rang. Richardson. Ms. Richardson, Nathan Ashford. His voice was pure business. Received your reports. Impressive work. Do you have 15 minutes to discuss implementation? Of course. Should I come to your office or? I'm actually in the building cafeteria. Needed coffee. Join me? Maya blinked. The CEO was in the cafeteria, voluntarily. I'll be right down. She found him at a corner table, laptop open, coffee cup half empty. He ditched the suit jacket, sleeves rolled to his elbows, reading glasses perched on his nose. He looked human. It was deeply inconvenient. Ms. Richardson. He gestured to the seat across from him. Thank you for making time. Maya sat, opened her own laptop like a shield. The reports are pretty straightforward. Engagement is up 18% from last quarter. The social campaign targeting Gen Z performed especially well. I read the reports, Nathan interrupted gently. They're excellent. What I'm curious about is the strategy behind them. The strategy? You recommended shifting budget from traditional advertising to influencer partnerships. That's a risk. Why? Maya relaxed slightly. This she could do. This was safe territory. Our demographic research shows that trust is the primary driver for tech purchases in the 18 to 34 range. They don't trust ads. They trust people who feel authentic. Influencers, when chosen carefully, provide that authenticity. And if the influencer causes a scandal, then we have a crisis protocol. But the ROI so far suggests the risk is worth it. Nathan leaned back, studied her. You're confident. I'm right. The corner of his mouth twitched. Not the same thing. In this case, it is. He smiled then, fully, the same smile from Saturday night. Fair enough. The silence that followed felt different, less professional, more aware. Nathan cleared his throat. How long have you been with Apex? 3 years. Started as a junior analyst, worked my way up. From Chicago originally. South Side. You? London until I was 16. Then New York for university. Moved around for work. He paused. This is my first CEO position. I'm probably supposed to pretend I've done it 100 times, but honestly, I'm figuring it out as I go. The honesty surprised her. Why tell me that? Because you asked me a direct question on Saturday night. Seemed fair to return the favor. He took off his glasses, rubbed the bridge of his nose. Also, because I've been in 6 meetings today, where everyone told me exactly what they thought I wanted to hear. It's exhausting. Maya felt something shift. That sounds lonely. It is. He met her eyes. But that's the job. Doesn't have to be. No. You could just be honest. People might appreciate it. Even when honesty is complicated. The air between them thickened. Maya knew they weren't talking about work anymore. Especially then, she said quietly. Nathan's gaze dropped to her mouth, just for a second. Then back up. Ms. Richardson. Maya. When it's just us, you can call me Maya. Maya. Her name sounded different in his accent, softer. We should probably talk about Saturday. Should we? Don't you think? Maya closed her laptop. Okay. You want honesty? That kiss was the most spontaneous thing I've done in 5 years. Maybe ever. It was terrifying and stupid, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. But you're my boss now, so it doesn't matter what I think or what you think. It can't happen again. Nathan was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was rough. You're right. It can't. Good. But for the record, I haven't stopped thinking about it either. Maya's pulse jumped. Nathan, I know. Professional boundaries, company policy, power dynamics. He stood, gathering his things. I'm not going to act on it. I'm not that person. But I also can't pretend it didn't happen or that I don't want... He stopped, shook his head. Never mind. Want what? He looked at her. Really looked, like he was memorizing something. To know what would have happened if we'd met somewhere else. Some place where you weren't my employee and I wasn't your boss. Care if we'd just been two people in a bar. Maya's throat felt tight. We'll never know. No, we won't. He picked up his coffee. Thank you for your time, Ms. Richardson. Excellent work on the reports. He walked away. Maya sat alone at the table, surrounded by the smell of burnt coffee and recycled air, feeling like she'd just lost something she never actually had. Her phone buzzed. Kennedy. Lunch tomorrow? You look like you need wine. Maya. It's Wednesday. Kennedy. Your point? Maya smiled. Texted back a thumbs up. Sometimes you needed your friends. Needed someone who'd let you be messy and confused and completely unprofessional for 30 minutes. She glanced toward the elevator bank where Nathan had disappeared. This was going to be harder than she thought. Friday night at the Promontory in Hyde Park was not where Maya expected to see her CEO. She'd come with Kennedy and Simone for live jazz, needed something to drown out the week. The constant awareness of Nathan 3 floors above her, the way her heart did stupid things every time he passed her desk. The music was good, sultry saxophone over drums that felt like a heartbeat. Maya nursed a glass of wine and tried to forget about grey eyes and rolled-up sleeves. You're doing it again, Kennedy said. Doing what? That thing where you're here but not here. What's going on with you? Nothing. Is it CEO guy? Maya nearly choked on her wine. What? No, why would it be? Because you've been weird all week. And I saw how he looked at you in that conference room. Kennedy leaned closer. Girl, there's tension there. There's nothing there. He's my boss. That's not a denial. Kennedy, I'm just saying, maybe the universe put him in your path for a reason. The universe put him in my path as a cruel joke. Simone returned from the bar with fresh drinks. Who are we talking about? Maya's CEO. The one she kissed? Can we not? Maya begged. Fine, but I'm just saying... Kennedy stopped mid-sentence. Her eyes went wide. Oh my God. What? Don't look now, but CEO Zaddy just walked in. Maya looked, obviously, because telling someone not to look was basically an invitation. Nathan stood near the entrance, scanning the room. He wore jeans, actual jeans, and a navy Henley that did absolutely nothing to help Maya's situation. His hair was slightly messy, like he'd been running his hands through it. He looked nothing like a CEO. He looked dangerous. Their eyes met across the room. Maya watched him make a decision, saw the moment he chose to walk over instead of leaving. Ms. Richardson, he said when he reached their table. His voice was warm, surprised. Small world. Mr. Ashford. Maya's voice came out steadier than she felt. Didn't know you were a jazz fan. My father played saxophone, grew up listening to him practice every Sunday morning. A shadow crossed his face. He passed when I was 16. Sometimes I come to places like this just to remember what that sounded like. The vulnerability caught Maya off guard, made him seem less CEO, more human. I'm sorry, she said quietly. His eyes met hers, grateful. Thank you. He turned to Kennedy and Simone. I don't want to interrupt your evening. You're not interrupting, Kennedy said quickly. Too quickly. She kicked Maya under the table. I'm Kennedy. This is Simone. We work at Apex too, different departments. Nice to meet you both. Nathan's smile was polite, professional. Then his gaze returned to Maya. I didn't expect to see anyone from the office here. I could say the same thing. I needed to get out of my apartment. Too quiet. He shifted his weight. Would you mind if I joined you? I can grab my own table if you'd prefer. Sit, Simone said, already pulling out a chair. We were just talking about how Maya needs to relax more. Maya shot her a look. Simone smiled innocently. Nathan sat. Ordered a whiskey when the server came by. The conversation flowed easier than it should have. He asked about their work, seemed genuinely interested in their answers. Made Kennedy laugh with a story about accidentally calling a board meeting at 3 in the morning, his first week, because he'd forgotten about time zones. You did not, Maya said. I absolutely did. Woke up 12 people in California. They were very understanding. He grinned. Publicly. What about privately? Let's just say my assistant now triple-checks my calendar. The band started a new set. Slower, more intimate. Couples moved to the small dance floor. Nathan turned to Maya. Dance with me. Her heart stopped. What? It's a jazz club. People dance. We're people. He stood, offered his hand. Unless you'd rather not. Kennedy kicked her again. Maya took his hand. The dance floor was crowded enough that no one paid attention to them. Private enough that Maya felt every point of contact. His hand at her waist. Her hand on his shoulder. The way he smelled like cedar and something clean she couldn't name. This is probably inappropriate, she said quietly. Probably. He didn't let go. But we're not at work. We're just two people who happen to know each other. You're still my boss on Monday. I know. He guided her through a turn. But right now, I'm just Nathan, and you're just Maya. Can we have that? For a few minutes? Maya looked up at him, saw something raw in his expression, something that matched what she felt. Okay, she whispered. Just for a few minutes. They swayed together. The saxophone wept. The world narrowed to his hands on her, hers on him, the impossible space between their bodies. I meant what I said Wednesday, Nathan said, voice low enough that only she could hear. About wishing we'd met differently. I know. Does that make this harder or easier? Harder, Maya admitted. So much harder. He pulled back slightly, looked at her. We should stop. We should. Neither of them moved. The song ended. Reality crashed back in. They separated, walked back to the table where Kennedy and Simone were pretending very hard not to have watched everything. I should go, Nathan said. He pulled out his wallet, left cash for his drink. Thank you for letting me crash your evening. Any time, Kennedy said. Simone elbowed her. Nathan looked at Maya one more time. See you Monday, Ms. Richardson. Monday, Maya echoed. He left. Maya sank into her chair. Girl, Kennedy breathed. That was a mistake, Maya cut in. That was a mistake. That was hot, Simone corrected. Also complicated, but definitely hot. Maya drained her wine. Kennedy was right about one thing. This was going to get messy, but when she closed her eyes, all she could feel was his hand at her waist, his breath near her ear, and the way he'd said her name like it meant something. Maybe messy wasn't the worst thing. The coffee shop on Wabash was Maya's thinking place. She'd discovered it her first week in Chicago. Tucked between a dry cleaner and a bookstore, it smelled like cinnamon and possibility. The barista knew her order: double-shot espresso, oat milk, no sugar. Tuesday morning found her there before work, staring at her laptop screen without seeing it. The weekend had been torture. All she could think about was Friday night, the dance, Nathan's hands. The way he'd looked at her like she was the only person in the room. Her phone buzzed. Nathan, good morning. Quick question about the Miller account. Her heart did something acrobatic. Maya, morning. What's up? Nathan, client wants to move the pitch up 2 weeks. Can your team handle that timeline? Professional, safe. This she could do. Maya, yes. Tight, but manageable. Nathan, thank you. A pause. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared, appeared again. Nathan, about Friday. Maya's breath caught. Nathan, I crossed a line. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. She stared at the message, felt something twist in her chest. Maya, you don't need to apologize. Nathan, I do. You work for me. I put you in an uncomfortable position. Maya, you didn't. I wanted to dance. The dots appeared. Stayed there for a full minute. Nathan, this would be easier if I didn't like you. Maya's hands shook. Maya, easier for who? Nathan, both of us. She didn't know how to respond to that. Didn't know what to do with the honesty. Nathan, I'm trying to be professional here. Help me out. Maya smiled despite herself. Maya, stop being charming. Nathan, I'll add it to the list of things I'm apparently bad at. Maya, what else is on the list? Nathan, time zones, coffee machines, pretending I don't want to see you outside of work. Maya's stomach flipped. Before she could respond, her phone rang. Kennedy, Please tell me you're not still obsessing over CEO guy, Kennedy said without preamble. I'm at a coffee shop being productive. That's a yes. Maya, you need to either go for it or let it go. This middle ground is killing you. There's a company policy against fraternization. There's also a thing called living your life. He's my boss, Ken. Then quit. Maya laughed. I can't just quit. I have rent, student loans, a sister in grad school I help support. Okay, fine. Then tell him you're not interested and mean it. Maya was quiet. That's what I thought, Kennedy said gently. Look, I'm not saying jump into something stupid, but I am saying you deserve to be happy, and I haven't seen you smile like you did Friday night in a long time. It's complicated. The good stuff usually is. They hung up. Maya stared at her phone, at Nathan's messages, at the impossible situation. She typed a response. Maya, see you at the office. Coward's way out, but safer. The morning passed in meetings, budget reviews, strategy sessions. Maya barely saw Nathan, except in passing. He was always surrounded by executives, talking about growth metrics and market expansion. At 2 in the afternoon, her desk phone rang. Richardson, Maya, it's Nathan. His voice was tight, wrong. Can you come to my office? Now. Her stomach dropped. Is something wrong? Just come up, please. She took the elevator to the top floor. Nathan's assistant waved her through. He stood at the window, back to the door, shoulders tense. Nathan! He turned. His face was carefully blank. Close the door. Maya did. Fear crept up her spine. What's going on? HR flagged something. He picked up a tablet from his desk. Security footage from the promontory. Friday night. Oh no. Someone sent it to the board anonymously, along with a note about inappropriate conduct between executives and employees. Maya felt sick. What? They have us dancing. Your hands on me, mine on you. He set down the tablet. It looks intimate. We weren't doing anything wrong. We were blurring lines. You know it. I know it. And now the board knows it. What does this mean? Nathan's jaw clenched. It means I have to make a choice. Either I report it officially, and we both face disciplinary action, or what? Or I request your transfer to a different department, different supervisor, eliminate the conflict of interest. Maya's chest tightened. You want to transfer me? I don't want to, but it might be the only way to protect both of us. Protect us from what? From potentially being happy? The words hung between them, raw, honest. Nathan crossed to her, stopped a foot away, close enough that she could see the gold flecks in his grey eyes. I think about you constantly, he said quietly. I think about that kiss. Friday night. The way you challenged me in that cafeteria. The way you laugh when you think no one's listening. I think about what it would be like if I could actually... He stopped, breathed. But I'm your boss. And that means your career, your reputation, they matter more than what I want. What if I don't want to transfer? Then we stop completely. No more coffee shop conversations, no more dances. We are purely professional. Can you do that? Maya looked at him, at the man who'd been honest when he could have lied, who'd worried about her career before his own feelings. No, she whispered. I don't think I can. Maya, transfer me. He stared. What? You heard me. Transfer me. To a different department, different supervisor. She stepped closer. Because you're right. I can't do professional anymore. Not with you. You'd give up your position in marketing. I'd give up a lot more than that if it meant... She stopped. Too much. Too fast. Nathan's hand lifted, almost touched her face, dropped. I'll submit the paperwork tomorrow. Maya nodded, turned to leave. Maya? She looked back. This isn't over, he said. The transfer just makes it possible. Her heart raced. Possible for what? For me to take you to dinner, without breaking any rules. She smiled. I like Italian. Noted. She walked out. Her hands shook. Her pulse thundered. Everything was about to change. The transfer took 4 days. 4 days of Maya training her replacement. 4 days of packing up her cubicle, 4 days of Nathan keeping his distance while his eyes followed her across every room. On Friday afternoon, her new supervisor welcomed her to the Creative Services Department. Different floor, different team, different reporting structure, no more conflict of interest. At 5:30, her phone buzzed. Nathan. Dinner? Tonight? Her stomach flipped. Maya. Trying to move fast, Mr. Ashford. Nathan. I've been waiting 2 weeks to ask you properly. That's not fast. That's restrained. Maya. Where? Nathan. Surprise. I'll pick you up at 7. Wear something nice but not uncomfortable. Maya. Cryptic. Nathan. Trust me. She smiled at her phone. Maya. I'll text you my address. Nia called at 6:15. Tell me everything, her sister demanded via FaceTime. Kennedy said you got transferred and you're going on a date with the CEO? It's a long story. I have time. I'm procrastinating on my thesis. Maya laughed, holding up 2 dresses. Which one? The blue. Definitely the blue. Shows your shoulders. Nia leaned closer to the screen. Wait, are you nervous? No. You're lying. Your left eye is twitching. It is not. Maya touched her face. Okay, maybe I'm a little nervous. Why? You already kissed him. The pressure's off. That was different. That was spontaneous. This is... Maya sat on her bed. This is intentional. This is him choosing me. Me choosing him. And that scares you? Terrifies me. Nia's expression softened. Maya, you've been playing it safe since Mama died. Working overtime, taking care of me. Never doing anything just for you. Maybe it's time. What if it doesn't work out? What if it does? Maya didn't have an answer for that. At 7 exactly, her buzzer rang. Nathan stood in the lobby of her building wearing dark slacks and a grey shirt that matched his eyes. His hair was styled but still had that hint of messiness she liked. He held a single sunflower. You brought a flower, Maya said. Too much? No, it's perfect. She took it. Sunflowers are my favorite. I know. She blinked. How? You have a photo on your desk. You and an older woman at a sunflower farm. I assumed it was important. Maya's throat tightened. That photo was from the last summer with Mama. You're observant. Only about things that matter. He offered his arm. Ready? She took it. Still not telling me where we're going? You'll see. He drove a Tesla. Sleek. Silver. Probably cost more than her yearly salary. But he drove carefully, one hand on the wheel, asking about her week, her new department, whether she missed marketing. A little, Maya admitted, but creative services is good. Less corporate, more collaborative. I'm sorry you had to change. I'm not. She looked at him. Are you? Nathan glanced over. Not even a little bit. They ended up at Café Barbariba in Lincoln Park. Tapas restaurant, intimate lighting. Flamenco music playing softly. Spanish food, Maya said as they were seated. Good choice. I figured Italian might be too obvious after your comment. He smiled. Besides, tapas means sharing. I wanted an excuse to steal food from your plate. Bold of you to assume I share. I'll risk it. The meal was easy. Too easy. They ordered too much food. Laughed about which dishes were best. He told her about growing up in London, his father's jazz obsession, his mother's terrible cooking. She told him about Mama, about Nia, about how she'd basically raised her sister the last 3 years while working full-time. That's a lot of responsibility, Nathan said quietly. Someone had to do it. But did it have to be you? Did anyone ever ask what you wanted? Maya went still. No one had asked her that. Not once. I wanted them to be okay, she said finally. And what about you being okay? She didn't answer. Couldn't. Nathan reached across the table, took her hand. Maya, you're allowed to want things just for yourself. Like what? Like this. Like someone who makes you laugh, who remembers your favorite flower, who thinks you're brilliant even when you're stress-eating trail mix at your desk. She laughed wetly. You saw that? I see everything about you. The weight of his gaze made her breath catch. This is our first real date, she said softly, and you're already saying things that scare me. Good scared or bad scared? I don't know yet. Fair enough. He squeezed her hand, released it. How about we finish dinner, walk around Lincoln Park, see where the night takes us? No pressure. No pressure, Maya echoed. They shared flan for dessert. He was right. She didn't want to share, but his laugh when she swatted his fork away was worth it. Outside, the October air was crisp. The park was lit with string lights. Nathan offered his jacket without asking. It smelled like him. They walked slowly, not touching, but close enough that their arms brushed occasionally. "Can I ask you something?" Nathan said. "Sure." "That night at the club, when you kissed me, did you feel it?" Maya stopped walking. "Feel what?" "The shift, like something clicked into place." He turned to face her. "Or was it just me?" She looked up at him, at the vulnerability in his expression, at the way he'd been honest from the beginning. "No," she whispered. "It wasn't just you." "Good." He stepped closer. "Because I'd really like to kiss you again, but this time I want it to mean something." "It meant something last time." "To me. But you said it was just a dare." I lied. His smile was slow, devastating. "Yeah?" "Yeah." He cupped her face, gentle, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. The kiss was nothing like the bar. That had been quick, impulsive. This was deliberate, thorough, the kind of kiss that rewrote everything that came before it. When they broke apart, Maya was breathless. "Okay," she managed. "That definitely meant something." Nathan laughed, pressed his forehead to hers. "Come on, I should get you home before I forget how to be a gentleman." "What if I don't want a gentleman?" "Maya Richardson, are you trying to corrupt me?" "Maybe. It's working." They walked back to the car, her hand in his. The city lights reflected in the lake. Everything felt different now, like maybe Kennedy was right. Maybe the good stuff was worth the complicated. 3 weeks of dating Nathan Ashford taught Maya several things. 1, he was a terrible cook. Burned eggs, overcooked pasta. Once set off the smoke alarm making toast. 2, he texted like a grandfather. Full sentences, proper punctuation, never used emojis. 3, she was falling for him faster than was probably smart. They'd kept it quiet at work. No public displays. Separate arrivals and departures. Professional emails only. But after hours, he was just Nathan, the man who remembered she liked her coffee with oat milk, who sent her articles he thought she'd find interesting, who kissed her goodnight like he was trying to memorize the taste of her. Saturday morning found them at her apartment, Nathan on her couch, reading glasses on, laptop balanced on his knee, Maya on the floor surrounded by grad school applications for Nia. "This one has a better psychology program," she muttered, highlighting a section. "But this one offers more financial aid." "She can't decide?" Nathan asked without looking up. "She wants me to decide. Says I'm better at the practical stuff." "What does she want?" Maya paused. "I don't know. I never asked." Nathan glanced over his glasses. "Maybe start there." Before Maya could respond, her phone rang. Nia's face filled the screen. "Hey, why didn't you tell me?" Nia's voice was sharp, hurt. Maya's stomach dropped. "Tell you what? About you and Nathan. I had to find out from Kennedy, who heard from someone at your office. You've been dating him for 3 weeks and you didn't say anything." "Nia, I thought we told each other everything, but apparently I'm just the little sister you take care of, not someone you actually trust." "That's not fair." "Isn't it? You've been making decisions about my life, my school, my future, but you couldn't even tell me about yours." The line went dead. Maya stared at her phone. "That sounded bad," Nathan said quietly. "She's upset." "About us?" "About me not telling her. About me." Maya's voice cracked. "She's right. I've been so focused on taking care of her that I forgot to actually include her in anything." Nathan set aside his laptop, sat beside her on the floor. "Call her back." "She won't answer." "Then go see her." Maya looked at him. "She's in Evanston." "That's 45 minutes." I'll drive you. Nathan, you don't have to. I know, but you're upset, and I'm not letting you take the L while you're upset. He stood, offered his hand. Come on. Nia's apartment near Northwestern was small, shared with 2 roommates, books everywhere, the smell of instant ramen and stress. She opened the door with her arms crossed, bonnet on, face set. Didn't know you were bringing your boyfriend, she said flatly. Nia, it's fine, come in. Nathan touched Maya's back. I'll wait in the car. You don't have to. Yeah, I do. This is sister time. He looked at Nia. For what it's worth, she talks about you constantly. Everything she does is for you. That's the problem, Nia said softly. Nathan left. The sisters stood in the cramped living room, silent. I'm sorry, Maya said finally. You're right, I should have told you. Why didn't you? Because... Maya sank onto the couch. Because if I told you, it became real, and if it was real, it could fall apart. And I didn't want you to worry about me. That's stupid. I know. You always do this. Nia sat beside her. You protect me from everything, even good things, even your life. Like I'm still 12 years old and Mama just died. Maya's throat tightened. I don't know how to stop. By trusting me. By telling me when you're scared or happy or confused. By letting me take care of you sometimes. Nia's voice softened. Maya, I'm 23. I can handle knowing my sister is in love. I'm not... Maya stopped, breathed. Okay, maybe I am. Obviously you are. Kennedy said you smile at your phone like a teenager. Despite everything, Maya laughed. Kennedy needs to mind her business. Kennedy is a treasure, and you know it. They sat quietly. The apartment creaked. Someone's music thumped through the walls. Tell me about him, Nia said. The real stuff, not the CEO stuff. What's he like? So Maya did. Told her about the sunflower, the terrible cooking, how he'd waited until she was ready, how he looked at her like she was the most interesting person in any room. He sounds good for you, Nia said when she finished. He is. Then stop protecting me from good things. Let me be happy for you. Nia bumped her shoulder. Also, I can make my own decisions about grad school. You don't have to carry everything alone anymore. Old habits, break them. Maya pulled her sister into a hug, held on tight. I love you. You know that? I know. I love you too. Even when you're being overprotective and weird. They talked for another hour, about school, about Nathan, about Mama and what she'd think about all this. She'd like him, Nia said. He brought you a sunflower. Mama always said you could tell a man's character by the flowers he chooses. She did say that. Also, he's fine. Mama would definitely mention that he's fine. Maya laughed. Stop. I'm just saying what Mama would say. When Maya walked back to the car, Nathan was leaning against the door, scrolling his phone. How'd it go? He asked. Good. Better. She stepped close. Thank you for driving me. Any time. He tucked a curl behind her ear. Everything okay with you too? Getting there. She's right though. I need to stop trying to control everything. That include us? Maya looked up at him. What do you mean? You've been holding back. I can feel it. Like you're waiting for this to fall apart. Aren't you? No. His voice was firm. I'm all in, Maya. Have been since that kiss, maybe even before. Her heart stuttered. Nathan, you don't have to say it back. I just need you to know, whatever this is, I'm not going anywhere. Maya kissed him, right there on the street in Evanston, kissed him like she meant it, because she did. I'm all in too, she whispered against his mouth. He smiled. Yeah? Yeah. They drove back to the city, her hand in his, the future suddenly less terrifying. Maybe Nia was right. Maybe it was time to stop protecting herself from good things. Maybe it was time to just let herself be happy. You want me to what? Maya stood in Nathan's kitchen, which was really more like a chef's fantasy that he couldn't use properly, holding her phone like a weapon. Come to Sunday dinner, she repeated. Meet Nia, officially, as my boyfriend. Nathan set down the spatula. He'd been attempting scrambled eggs. They looked like rubber. You're inviting me to family dinner. Is that weird? No, it's... He ran a hand through his hair. Big. We've been together 2 months. I know. And you said you were all in. I am. He crossed to her, took her hands. I'm just surprised. You've been so private about us. Now you want me to meet your sister over dinner? Maya bit her lip. Nia asked. Said she wants to interrogate you properly. Make sure you're good enough. Am I? Good enough? Yeah. She kissed him. Soft. Quick. You brought me a sunflower on our first date. You drove me to Evanston without asking why. You can't cook to save your life, but you keep trying. She smiled. Yeah, you're good enough. His eyes softened. Okay. Sunday dinner. What should I bring? Wine. Good wine. And maybe lower your expectations about my cooking. Can't be worse than mine. It's definitely worse than yours. Sunday arrived cold and grey. Late November wind that cut through your coat and made you question life choices. Nathan picked her up at 4. He wore a navy sweater and dark jeans, held a bottle of wine that probably cost more than her weekly grocery budget. Nervous? Maya asked as they drove to her apartment in Old Town, terrified. Why? You run a company. You present to boards. You fire people. Those people don't decide if I'm worthy of dating their sister. He glanced over. What if she hates me? She won't. How do you know? Because I don't hate you, and we have the same taste. He smiled. That's reassuring. Maya's apartment smelled like her mother's recipe. Baked chicken, collard greens, mac and cheese that was probably too much cheese, but that's how Mama made it. Nia arrived 10 minutes late deliberately, sizing up the situation from the doorway. So you're Nathan, she said, and you're Nia. He extended his hand. Nice to officially meet you. Nia looked at his hand, then at Maya, then back at Nathan. You brought wine. Your sister said it was appropriate. What kind? Bordeaux, 2015. I'm told it's a good year. Nia took the bottle, read the label, raised her eyebrows. This is expensive. Is that okay? Depends. Are you trying to buy your way into the family, or do you genuinely not know how to shop normally? Maya winced. Nia, it's fine. Nathan's expression didn't change. Honestly, both. I wanted to make a good impression. But I also grew up with money. Sometimes I forget not everyone thinks a $100 bottle of wine is normal. Nia studied him, then smiled. I like that you admitted it. Come in. Dinner was chaos, good chaos. Maya burned the biscuits. Nia told embarrassing stories about Maya's awkward phase in middle school. Nathan listened like every word mattered. So, Nia said, pointing her fork at Nathan, what are your intentions with my sister? Nia, Maya groaned. What? I'm allowed to ask. Nathan put down his fork, met Nia's eyes straight on. My intentions are to keep showing up, to be honest even when it's uncomfortable, to make her laugh, to remember she likes oat milk in her coffee and sunflowers, and that she stress eats trail mix when she's anxious. He paused, and to eventually convince her that she deserves someone who sees all of her, not just the responsible parts. The kitchen went quiet. Okay, Nia said softly. You can stay. Maya's eyes burned. She blinked hard. After dinner, Nia pulled out a photo album, old pictures, Mama at the sunflower farm, the sisters as kids, family cookouts. This was Mama, Nia said, showing Nathan a photo, a woman with Maya's smile and eyes that held the world. She died 3 years ago, cancer. I'm sorry, Nathan said, and he sounded like he meant it. She would have liked you, Nia continued. She always said Maya needed someone who could handle her stubborn streak, someone who wouldn't let her hide behind being responsible. Your sister's not stubborn, Nathan said. She's careful. There's a difference. Nia looked at Maya. Something passed between them. Understanding. Approval. He's good, Nia mouthed. Maya nodded. Later, after dishes and dessert, store-bought pie because neither of them could bake, Nia hugged Nathan goodbye. Thank you for making her happy, she whispered, loud enough for Maya to hear. Thank you for trusting me with her, Nathan replied. In the car driving back to Nathan's place, Maya was quiet. You okay? Nathan asked. I was scared. Of what? That you wouldn't fit, that my life would be too small or too complicated or too much. She looked at him. But you didn't flinch, not once. Why would I? Your life is part of you. I want all of it. Even the burned biscuits? Especially those. He squeezed her hand. For what it's worth, I think your mom would be proud of you. The way you took care of Nia, the way you built a life even when it was hard. That takes strength. Maya's voice came out thick. Stop making me cry in your fancy car. Can't promise that. He pulled into his parking garage, turned to face her. Come upstairs? It's late. I know, but I'm not ready to say goodnight yet. She smiled. Your place has better coffee anyway. My place has you in it. That's all that matters. They rode the elevator to his penthouse apartment, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, too much space for one person. But it felt less empty when Maya was there. She kicked off her shoes, curled up on his couch. He brought her tea, learned to make it the way she liked after she'd complained about his coffee. Thank you, she said, for tonight, for being exactly what I needed. Nathan sat beside her, pulled her close. Always. Outside, the city glittered. Inside, something settled, like pieces finally fitting right. Maya closed her eyes, let herself be held. For the first time in 3 years, she felt like maybe it was okay to stop carrying everything alone. Maybe it was okay to let someone help. 3 months into dating Nathan Ashford, Maya learned that happy could be interrupted. The call came during lunch. She was at Pret with Kennedy, debating whether the chicken sandwich was worth $7 when her phone buzzed. Unknown number, London area code. Hello? Is this Maya Richardson? British accent, female, cool. Yes, who's calling? Caroline Winters. I'm a senior partner at Ashford Holdings in London. Nathan's mother. Maya's stomach dropped. Kennedy mouthed, Who is it? Maya held up a finger. Mrs. Ashford, hi, Nathan didn't mention. That I'd be calling? I imagine not. My son has always been private about his personal life. A pause. I'm in Chicago for business. I'd like to meet you today if possible. Today? I'm flying back tomorrow, the Peninsula, 4 o'clock. Can you make that work? It wasn't really a question. Yes, I'll be there. Excellent. See you then. The line went dead. Kennedy stared. Was that his mother? And? She wants to meet me. Today. At the Peninsula. Kennedy's eyes went wide. That's fancy. I know. Like fancy, like high tea and judgment fancy. I know. What are you gonna wear? Maya looked down at her work clothes, slacks and a blouse that was acceptable for the office, but definitely not acceptable for the Peninsula. I have no idea. At 3:45, Maya stood outside the Peninsula Hotel in a navy dress she'd panic bought during her lunch break. Her hair was in a sleek, low bun, edges perfect, earrings that Mama had left her. She texted Nathan. Maya, your mother is in Chicago. She called me. We're meeting in 15 minutes. The response was immediate. Nathan. What? Nathan. Why didn't she tell me she was coming? Nathan. Are you okay? Maya. Define okay. Nathan. Do you want me to come? Maya. No, I need to do this. Nathan. She's going to love you. Maya. How do you know? Nathan. Because I do. Maya stared at the message. He'd never said it directly before. Not like that. Her hands shook. Maya. We'll talk about that later. Wish me luck. Nathan. You don't need it. But good luck anyway. The lobby of the Peninsula looked like old money had a baby with new money. Marble, crystal, people who'd never worried about rent. Caroline Winters sat in the lounge. Early 60s. Blonde hair pulled back, pearls. The kind of woman who made casual elegance look effortless because it probably was. She stood when Maya approached, extended a hand. Ms. Richardson, thank you for coming on such short notice. Mrs. Ashford, nice to meet you. Please, Caroline. She gestured to the seat across from her. I took the liberty of ordering tea. I hope that's acceptable. Of course. They sat. A server appeared with a 3-tiered tray. Tiny sandwiches, scones, pastries that looked too beautiful to eat. I'll be direct, Caroline said, pouring tea with practiced precision. I'm here because my son is in love with you. Maya nearly dropped her cup. He told you that? He didn't have to. I've known Nathan his entire life. I know what he sounds like when he's going through the motions. And I know what he sounds like when something matters. She met Maya's eyes. You matter. Thank you. That wasn't a compliment. Not yet. Caroline set down the teapot. Nathan has had relationships before, brief ones, women who were suitable, appropriate, safe. They never lasted because he never let them in. Why are you telling me this? Because you're different. He's different with you, and that terrifies me. Maya straightened. Why? Because my son built walls after his father died, threw himself into work, became this perfect version of himself that no one could touch. It kept him safe, kept him from getting hurt. Caroline's expression softened, but it also kept him from living. And you? She smiled slightly. You walked through those walls like they weren't even there. I don't understand what you want from me. I want to know if you're serious, if this is real. Because if you're not, if this is just fun or convenient or temporary, I need you to walk away now before he gets in too deep. The words hit like ice water. Maya set down her tea. With respect, Mrs. Ashford, Caroline, Nathan is already in too deep. So am I. Her voice steadied. I didn't plan this, I didn't plan any of this, but your son is the most genuine person I've ever met. He sees me. Not just the parts I show everyone, all of me. And yes, that's terrifying, but I'm not walking away from terrifying, not anymore. Caroline watched her, long enough that Maya started to sweat. Then she smiled, really smiled. Good. That's the answer I was hoping for. Maya blinked. Wait. What? Nathan needs someone who'll fight for him, who won't be intimidated by his family or his money or his life, someone who sees him as just him. Caroline reached across the table, touched Maya's hand. I think you might be that person. That was a test? Everything is a test, dear. You passed. Maya laughed. Couldn't help it. You're terrifying. I'm a mother. It's in the job description. Caroline poured more tea. Now, tell me how you met. Nathan was maddeningly vague on the details, so Maya told her about the bar, the dare, the kiss, the mortifying realization on Monday morning. Caroline laughed so hard she had to dab her eyes with a napkin. That's the most romantic thing I've ever heard. It was a disaster. The best love stories usually are. They talked for an hour, about work, about Nia, about Mama and what it was like to lose someone and keep going. When Maya finally left, Caroline hugged her. A real hug, not the air kiss thing rich people did. Take care of my boy, she whispered. I will. And let him take care of you. He needs that too. Maya nodded. Outside, the sun was setting. The city looked gold. Her phone buzzed. Nathan. Well? Maya. Your mother is scary. Nathan. I know. Did she like you? Maya. I think so. Nathan. Good, because I need to tell you something. Maya. What? Nathan. In person. Are you free tonight? Maya's heart raced. Maya. Yes. Nathan. Come over. I'll cook. Maya. You'll burn the apartment down. Nathan. Worth the risk. She smiled, headed to the train. Whatever he needed to say, she was ready to hear it. Nathan's apartment smelled like smoke. Not the romantic candles kind, the actual fire kind. Maya arrived at 7 to find him waving a dish towel at the smoke detector, windows open despite the freezing November air. Don't say it, he warned. I didn't say anything. You were thinking it. I was thinking many things. She surveyed the kitchen. Burned garlic, something black in a pan, takeout menus scattered across the counter. Should I call 911 or just order pizza? Nathan tossed the towel aside, ran both hands through his hair. I wanted tonight to be perfect. Why? Because. He crossed to her, took her hands. Because I need to tell you something, and I wanted the setting to match the moment. Maya's pulse jumped. Nathan, let me say this before I lose my nerve. He took a breath. I told you about the bar, about that kiss, how it felt like something clicked. I remember. What I didn't tell you is that I almost left. That night. I was having a terrible week. London was pushing for metrics I couldn't hit. The board was breathing down my neck about the Chicago transition. I went to that bar to have one drink and go home. His thumbs brushed her knuckles. But then you walked up to me, this beautiful woman who was clearly terrified but doing it anyway, and you asked if you could kiss me. It was a dare. It was brave. You were brave. He smiled, and in that moment, everything else disappeared. The stress, the pressure, the weight I'd been carrying. It was just you, just us, just possibility. Maya's eyes burned. Then Monday happened, and you were there, in my building, in my life. And I thought, this is impossible. This is going to be complicated and messy and probably a disaster. He pulled her closer. But Maya, you're the best disaster that's ever happened to me. She laughed wetly. That's the worst romantic declaration I've ever heard. I'm not done. He cupped her face. I love you. I love how you take care of everyone, but forget to take care of yourself. I love how you stress-eat trail mix, how you organize your desk by color, how you kiss me like you're afraid I'll disappear, but you're doing it anyway. His voice cracked. I love that you make me want to be the kind of man who deserves you, even though I'm probably not. Nathan, I know it's fast. I know we've only been together a few months, but I also know that I want every morning to start with you. Every disaster, every burned dinner, every moment. He pressed his forehead to hers. I'm all in. I've been all in since that first kiss, maybe even before. Maya couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only feel. Say something, Nathan whispered. Please. You're an idiot. He pulled back. What? You're an idiot if you think you're not good enough. You're an idiot if you think this is one-sided. She grabbed his shirt. I love you too. I've loved you since you drove me to Evanston without asking why, since you brought me a sunflower because you noticed a photo, since you met my sister and didn't flinch when she interrogated you. Her voice shook. You make me want to be less careful, less responsible, less afraid of wanting things just for me. Maya, I'm not done. She smiled through tears. You're the best thing that's happened to me in 3 years, maybe longer, and yes, it's terrifying. But I'm done running from terrifying. I'm done playing it safe. Nathan kissed her, desperate, grateful. Like she was oxygen and he'd been drowning. When they broke apart, both breathless, he laughed. So, pizza. Definitely pizza. They ate on the floor of his living room. Chicago spread out below them through the windows, pepperoni and mushroom, a bottle of wine that probably cost too much. Can I ask you something? Nathan said, always. That night at the bar. Why did you really kiss me? Not the dare, the real reason. Maya thought about it, about Kennedy's challenge, about feeling invisible, about wanting to be someone different for one night. I think... She chose her words carefully. I think I was tired of being the responsible one, the one who always did the right thing. And you looked like the kind of wrong decision I wanted to make. And now? Now you're the best decision I ever made. She leaned against him. Even if you can't cook. I'll take lessons. Please don't. I like ordering takeout with you. He kissed the top of her head. My mother liked you, by the way. She texted me after you left, said, and I quote, if you mess this up, you're out of the will. Maya laughed. She did not. She absolutely did. Very on brand for her. They sat in comfortable silence. The kind that only comes when you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Maya? Thank you. For what? For taking that dare. For being brave when you were terrified. For giving us a chance, even when it was complicated. He turned her face toward him. For choosing me. She kissed him. Soft. Sure. Always. 6 months later, Kennedy would ask Maya if she regretted that night at the bar. The dare, the kiss, the chaos that followed. Maya would smile, would think about burned dinners and Sunday brunches with Nia and Nathan, about finding Nathan's reading glasses in her apartment, about the way he still texted in full sentences, about loving someone who saw every part of her and stayed anyway. Not even a little bit, she'd say, because some dares aren't about proving something to your friends. They're about proving something to yourself, that you can be brave, that you can take risks, that sometimes the best love stories start with the worst decisions, and that $50 was the best money she never collected. The end 1 year later. The bar looked exactly the same. Same velvet booths, same too loud music, same overpriced drinks. Maya stood in the entrance, Nathan's hand in hers, and smiled. "This is where it started," Nathan said. "Technically, it started with me losing a bet. Best bet you ever lost. I never actually paid Kennedy, you know. I'll Venmo her." He pulled her toward the bar, the same spot where he'd been standing that night. "Want to recreate it? The kiss? The whole thing, you, me, bad decisions." Maya pretended to think about it. "I don't know. Last time I kissed a stranger in a bar, I ended up with a boyfriend. Seems risky. Live dangerously." She laughed, pulled him down by his collar, kissed him in the middle of the crowded bar, a year wiser, a lifetime braver. When she pulled back, he was smiling. "Still feels like the first time it," he said. "Liar. Okay, it feels better, much better. That's more like it." They ordered drinks, toasted to dares and disasters, and the kind of love that starts with terrible timing and ends up being exactly right. Around them, the bar pulsed with possibility. Somewhere, someone else was probably making a terrible decision. Maya hoped it worked out as well as hers did. Final message. Sometimes the universe puts someone in your path at exactly the wrong time, wrong place, wrong circumstances, wrong everything, and somehow it's exactly right. Maya learned that being spontaneous doesn't mean being reckless. It means being open to possibility. Nathan learned that the best things in life are worth the complications. And they both learned that love doesn't wait for perfect timing. It just waits for someone brave enough to take the first step. Even if that first step is a $50 dare in a crowded bar. What's the bravest thing you've ever done for love? Drop your story in the comments. We want to hear about your terrible decisions that turned out right. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more romantic stories that make you believe in love again.